what's going on in Ferrari in that organization? It seems like they're getting better than the last four races. And do you think Sainz, now that he's lost to Alonso and Lando, could reclaim fourth, or could even Ferrari compete against Mercedes in the constructors? They just seem like they're all over the place.
Ferrari gonna Ferrari, right? Because that was the most ridiculous formation lap that I've seen in a while. I don't even know what went wrong there with Charles Leclerc. It's just a really unfortunate set of circumstances. But Ferrari, they've just been too inconsistent. One week they look like they can compete and get some really good points, and then other weeks was like, what in the world is going on with the team? If it's not strategy that's gone wrong, it's something like this. A very disappointing day for Leclerc and Sainz, losing spots in the championship. Not good for him at all. If Fernando Alonso and Aston Martin can have more runs to close out the season like they had today, I certainly think Alonso can stay up there as well. And I think it might maybe really hard for Carlos Sainz to reclaim fourth unless we see looking at what we've seen with Fernando Alonso and Aston Martin. They just came out of nowhere this weekend because as we saw earlier in the season, this team was on fire, and then they kind of disappeared for several months where they weren't having good races at all. And all of a sudden, we saw the Fernando Alonso and Aston Martin team that we saw earlier on in the season. If they can keep that up, McLaren keep giving great cars to Lando Norris, I think they might be okay during this last stretch of the season.
Yeah, Joe, I wish I knew what was going on with Ferrari. For the Ferrari fans out there, I know it must be hard. And while I say this, I'm pretending that I don't have a Ferrari poster up on my wall right there. But to give a more serious answer, I'm not even sure what's wrong with Ferrari. I don't know if it's just the car or if it's the team management or just at this point, I don't even know what's wrong with them or how they could fix it. Um, and as far as the second half of the question goes, can Sainz reclaim that fourth place ahead of Alonso and Lando Norris? I don't see it happening, especially when you've got Lando Norris in front of you in such a speedy and improved McLaren. And can Ferrari overtake Mercedes? I know we've got two races left. I don't really see it happening because with Ferrari, you've got days like Singapore where, one of the drivers will put up an insane performance, and then you've got a race today where the race will be over even before it starts. So I just feel like Ferrari's got to find whoever the bad luck charm is on their team, and just I guess kick them out of the team because I just don't know how the next season's gonna go. I hope they're able to fix whatever's going wrong at this point, but you don't even know what's going wrong. So I think it's going to be really tough for them to figure out how to fix and improve for next season.
The answer's right in front of us. It's the track we were at today. It was 15 years ago, and Timo Glock set a curse on this team, I guess, when Lewis Hamilton passed him for fifth place. This is how long it's been. And Felipe Massa is apparently still trying to get that championship overturned because it hurt him so badly. Like, this team has just been cursed for the last 15 years. They haven't won either championship, the drivers or the constructors. They continue to do things like this. They are a mediocre Formula One franchise based on their prestige and their history and the results that they've given us. They can't seem to do anything right. They can't seem to close the deal here. I know they won in Singapore with Carlos Sainz, so congratulations to them on that. They're, I guess, the only winners other than Red Bull so far this year. But it's just at the point now where we can't even be surprised anymore. This is what they do. This is who they are. They are the Dallas Cowboys of Formula One. What can go wrong will go wrong. And I feel bad for Leclerc now. What is he up to? 10 consecutive pole positions that have been won by Max Verstappen or been won by somebody else, whatever that stat is. It's just unbelievable, except it's not because it's Ferrari. That's the situation that we have right now. So to answer the second part of the question, no, Carlos Sainz is not going to reclaim fourth. And no, Ferrari's not going to overtake Mercedes. I think Mercedes continue to, undersell their performance this year. I know they had an off weekend, especially compared to last year, taking the 1-2 this race, but I think they're going to hang on for second. I don't think the W14 is as bad as Toto Wolff and Lewis Hamilton are making it out to be. I think they just had an off weekend this weekend. I think they're going to hang on to second because, quite frankly, I don't even trust Ferrari to so much as take the green flag, let alone overtake Mercedes once again for second place in the constructors. It's not going to happen.
The thing, too, with all this, you mentioned prestige, Ferrari. They've been there since the first year of F1. The culture behind Ferrari, the fan base. when we go to Las Vegas, there's a huge Ferrari dealership there. You know Ferrari's going to have the red carpet out for their VIP guests. Is Charles Leclerc really going to set another record for another pole just to not win the race? Something like this. I feel at this point it's almost, as Jackson Lambros would say, is almost becoming like the cartoon Anvil team, and that's Ferrari. It's just what could go wrong can go wrong, and I just don't believe this. And I just still won't forget. I just looked away, turned around, and I see Charles Leclerc on the wall on the formation lap. And I'm thinking, was that Sainz? What happened? And no, that was Leclerc, your front row. And it's like, oh boy, what a dreadful weekend for them.